guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about my first trimester. And I took some notes because I want to make this a productive video. I want to remember everything, but it could be long. So I'm going to try my best to keep it to the point, give you the information, but also be authentic in sharing how it really was, because it was really hard for me. Same with my last pregnancy, but anyways, let's get started. So basically, I think in the beginning we were just kind of like shocked and super excited that we were pregnant. I almost didn't think that I was going to be. I thought it would be like too good to be true. But I also felt like the symptoms, which were very telling, like my breast milk supply was a lot lower, which was kind of like a nice cheat code for me breastfeeding as long as I had, because that was a huge indicator of pregnancy. I didn't really have the nausea right away or morning sickness per se, but I could just tell my body felt different. Heightened sense of smell, of course, all of that good stuff. So, but I was still like, oh my gosh, this may be too good to be true. So, of course, I didn't want to get my hopes up and be disappointed, but this was definitely like a bigger deal for us finding out, because this pregnancy followed a miscarriage. So, that was really tough. Right around Reagan's first birthday is when we found out we were pregnant. And then shortly after that, we weren't anymore. So that was a whole thing. And I almost was not going to try the following month to get pregnant just because of all of that we went through. But I had talked to my doctor, and she had let me know that you can be very fertile after a miscarriage, and so if I felt up to it, it could be a really good time for success, which it was, which I'm very glad that we pushed through. But at the same time, it was tough to decide, and it was like one of those moments where I had to really think about what I needed, and I felt okay mentally to keep going, but I had already prepared myself if it was another, like, I didn't get pregnant, we were going to take a break. And we did. So thank God. It was such an answer to prayer. But from that time, finding out from the pregnancy test that we were pregnant to getting an ultrasound, that waiting period was really, really tough on me, because I started having like minor spotting. Hi girl, you want to be in the video too? And I was just kind of freaking out, and like I didn't want to tell a lot of people just because of what had happened before. But then again, going through the miscarriage and not telling anyone really was lonely. So I kind of was leaning to the side of just tell people, so that you can have more of a support group around you. But of course, we wanted to wait to tell our families until Christmas, because we found out December 6th that we were pregnant. And then, it was just a long time waiting. So a long time to share with our family that we were pregnant, and a long time waiting for a like doctor's confirmation. So there was a lot of heightened anxiety, and like, because I was sort of spotting, it was just very stressful. That's exactly how the signs started when I had my miscarriage. That's how they were. So I was just freaking out that it wasn't gonna stick, and like, you just can't get excited. Like, I will say, miscarriage really robs you of your pregnancy following that. I definitely felt that way a lot in my first trimester, and especially in the beginning. So either way, I decided I would call my doctor and see if I could get in and let them know what was going on, let them know that I had had a miscarriage prior. This is a little bit tricky because I was actually switching into a new practice at the time. So I was not even a patient. I had never been seen by this doctor yet. So to call them and be like, well, I scheduled my first ultrasound, but I want to be seen sooner, and also you don't have any of my medical history or any of that. So it was kind of getting that ball rolling faster than I had anticipated, and then letting them know the urgency of it. They definitely got me in as soon as they could. I got in the day before Christmas Eve, got an ultrasound. I was so scared. Sam had to stay home with Reagan because we couldn't be like, hey mom, can you watch Reagan so we can go to a doctor's appointment? That would have been so obvious. So anyways, it was hard going to that appointment alone. I was so nervous that something was going to be wrong. I was just anticipating that they wouldn't hear a heartbeat, that there was going to be another loss, but I needed to know, and I just wanted it to be done, especially before Christmas, because it was just like, I don't know, it wouldn't have been a great time no matter what, but they heard a heartbeat. Everything was okay. So it was so nice to get that confirmation before I had to go into the holiday. I would have been waiting for a while because I believe my first appointment wasn't until like after the new year. So anyway, it does feel like a long time ago, but actually it kind of is. I'm already like almost 19 weeks pregnant tomorrow, so that's fine. We're just getting to this now. It's cool. What else? Ooh. Oh, so once I got the confirmation at the doctor, that was another thing that kind of sucked right in the beginning, because we were so excited to tell our families. We were like preparing how we were gonna do it, and then Sam got sick, and we were hosting Christmas Eve at our house with everybody, Sam's parents and my parents and my siblings and their spouses. So it was like no one had plans except for to be at our house, and we had already prepared everything for it. It doesn't really matter. He wasn't feeling well. We weren't willing to risk it and have people over, but it was so hard because we had to act like nothing was up. And then I started feeling sick basically the week before Christmas and New Year's. And so I had to act like I was feeling fine. I had to act like I was not pregnant, essentially, even though I was feeling so awful and going through that without being able to like talk to your family and like the people that you care about and whatever was tough. So that was just a long anticipated week that felt like forever. Once we did tell our family, if you saw my video of the reveal when we told everyone we were pregnant, they obviously were super excited and didn't expect it at all, but that we were just so excited and couldn't wait to tell everybody. So yeah, it was a downer, and being pregnant and not feeling well already, it was just like you needed some positivity. So could not wait for that time to actually see our families and tell them, which was awesome. And then because I had an appointment with my doctor already, that set the stage for like, I got to meet everybody and I got to get the ultrasound, and I had talked about like nausea and if I didn't feel well, what to do and whatnot. So they had already told me like, just email us if you're not feeling well and we can give you something stronger than what you're taking to help with morning sickness and things like that, which I did right away, because I was just like, I am not going to put myself through anything I don't need to. I had done this with Reagan. I was sick, and I think I just kind of suffered for no reason. I don't really know why I didn't ask for something stronger, but I guess you just learn from your first pregnancy overall. But I got Zofran real quick, and I'm so glad that I did, because that, let me just tell you, helped me survive as much as I could in the first trimester. I definitely dealt with a lot of food aversions with Reagan, and so I couldn't even like be around meat, particularly like chicken and turkey. But because of this medicine I was on this pregnancy, although I didn't love the idea of eating and food didn't sound necessarily good to me, I was able to be around it and I was able to like eat to an extent. So it helped a lot from that perspective, I guess. But yeah, it was still a rough time because I would feel pretty good in the beginning. Like I'll say until about 13 weeks, I would feel good in the mornings. I would wake up, feel energized. I was sleeping pretty well, which thank God for that, because if I had had nausea, excuse me, on top of fatigue, I don't know what I would have done. So felt good in the mornings. I was able to like keep up with my workouts, which that was one of my big goals as a New Year's resolution, I guess you could call it, or just like a goal for the year, was to be more active in this pregnancy. I didn't ever put like a limit on weight, of course, or like diet restrictions. I'm not about that, but I had just wanted to feel better mentally this pregnancy and get more physical and more active, because I know how my body feels when I am, and it does feel better and more energized versus when I'm not. So that was just a goal. I didn't say like I needed to work out X amount of days a week either. It was just, I listened to my body. I felt good in the mornings, so I did do a short workout. And then evenings, it was like afternoon evenings is when it would just like go downhill, and I was really struggling even just to like get Reagan up from her afternoon nap and get through dinner and get to her bedtime. And then it just got worse and worse. Even after she went to bed and I was just laying on the couch, I would feel awful until I just would go to bed. It was like I just couldn't even stay up through it. So that happened until about 13 weeks. Then it switched to like I got morning sickness in the mornings, actually. And I had already tried to figure out a way to like get my prenatals in at night so that I wouldn't throw them up, because that was like a whole issue with just trying to swallow pills. But then it switched on me, and now I'm feeling sick in the morning and not so much at night, and almost like I would pretty much feel like I was gonna throw up every single morning before I would eat, because I was like, I guess having an empty stomach was not great, which is why I mentioned having the Zofran actually really helped, because if you get too hungry, you get sick. If you get too full, you feel sick. If you are dehydrated, you feel sick and nauseous, and it's just so hard to find a balance. So you need to eat, and when you don't feel good or don't feel like eating, it's like it's just working against you. So anyways, once I started getting the morning sickness in the mornings, that was really tough. So I would just like take a Zofran right when I woke up, so I didn't even have a chance to like go downstairs. I was starting to like look in the fridge and just like walk away like so nauseous from even looking at food. So yeah, it was tough. I was trying to like get Reagan's breakfasts ready in the morning, and I was just like, I can't even smell the food. I can't even look at the food. So that was a very short but rough period. I'd say altogether it got better around like 14, 15 weeks, which was literally the beginning of my second trimester. So I did get energy back, I'd say at the end of my first trimester somewhat. I was having a nap like every single day and go to bed really early. I was getting probably 9 hours a night of sleep, which was really good, but I was still tired. So yeah, it was a long time of feeling that way, which is why I say like pregnancy is so glamorized on social media, and it makes women who feel like me feel like there's something wrong with us, or like we're not excited, or we should be excited, or just grateful. Obviously, having a miscarriage and going through what we did, I was so happy to be pregnant, but it didn't make, my physical side of everything feel much better at all. So it was just tough mentally too. And that's where there's like, that's what I put in my notes, this whole anxiety and depression regarding hormones and like first trimester for me. I think I experienced the same thing during my first pregnancy, but I didn't really recognize it as much as I did in this pregnancy, and I definitely vocalized it and got some help. And I'm glad that I did, because I was starting to go down this really dark like road where my thoughts would just take over, and I was having very intrusive thoughts and just a lot of guilt and shame and just things that didn't really even bother me that would just come up into my head, and it would become like this really big deal and like the end of the world. And then some really, really dark thoughts about myself and just being really hard on myself, and to the point that I was like thinking things that I'd never felt before, like, just to be real and open, like maybe Reagan and Sam would be better off without me. And yeah, so once that kind of crossed my mind, I told Sam, of course, and I talked to him about it, and I was like, you know, I know these things aren't true, but they just are thoughts that continue to go through my head over and over again, so it just like wears me down, and I'm thinking maybe I'm dealing with depression. And then with the physical side, feeling so sick for so long, you just are impacted by it. And I would wake up and literally not want to do anything. I'd want to stay in bed all day. I didn't want to take care of my kid. I didn't feel joy being around my child. It was just like everything had switched. So that was all red flags to me, especially because I know myself and I'd never really felt this way before, besides first trimester, last pregnancy, and I did struggle with postpartum depression, and that was a big fear of mine going into this pregnancy, was that postpartum experience and how I was going to cope. So immediately set up an appointment with our therapist and explained everything to her, basically like what I just said to you guys, and she agreed that there was something wrong, and she reassured me that I was normal, that this is very common, and that this would end, but that I needed to seek help from a professional that could prescribe me something or give me some sort of plan moving forward, because she could recognize the anxiety or depression, but she couldn't necessarily prescribe anything medically. So got in touch with my OB, had a telehealth visit, and he also agreed, let's get you on something. So was prescribed antidepressants within like a couple of days of even bringing up this topic, and got the prescription filled same day and started taking them. And it took a while, I'd say about a month, before I noticed any difference. But it was almost like once I stopped even thinking like, am I still feeling this way? It was like I didn't even think about it anymore. And so it's been really helpful for me. And second trimester, I feel so much different. So I can do a video about second trimester on its own, but yeah, those were just some real raw things that I struggled with in the first trimester. And I'm so glad that it's behind me, but also I just want to put this out there for other moms who may have experienced something similar to me, aren't feeling well, feel like they aren't feeling as happy as they should in pregnancy. Like, this is all things that happen so commonly to women, and I think sometimes we feel bad, like I'm just not supposed to feel this way. And yeah, there's that guilt with it, like I should be happy or something. But yeah, I realized like there was nothing wrong with me. It was just literally I have hormones that I can't control, and these are things that it's not my fault that I feel this way. So I got the help I needed. So happy about that. And I hope that it can be helpful to somebody out there who may be experiencing this as well. But also, if you're just not feeling well in your first trimester, know that it does get better and you can do it. And don't feel like you have to you know, have this perfect pregnancy. I just don't think that exists. So I just want to break down those barriers of like what we see portrayed versus what's reality, because that was hard for me to see a lot of people posting online and like they were just so happy or they looked so amazing, and yeah, it just wasn't how I felt. So comparison is not fun and don't do it. I just say stay offline or reach out to me. I'll help you because I know how it feels, and I can't do the comparison thing. It's not worth it. But anyways, I hope that this was not a huge like downer, but I wanted to at least share the real side of everything. Yeah, I can do a second trimester recap, which will be much more upbeat. But yeah, I just wanted to document and put this out there and all my thoughts and what happened. So like I said, comment below if this resonated with you in any way, if you've gone through this, if you're going through it. Let's share. Are you pregnant? How far along are you? When's your due dates? I would love to hear from all of you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications so you know anytime I post a new video. And also don't forget to share, especially this video, if you think this could help somebody else who's going through first trimester or struggling in any way. Give it a share. Hopefully this can help somebody out there. That's why I make these videos. But I will see you all in the next one. Bye.